it's Mia from the Cozy Bookshop, and I'm here today to do a nifty little book haul for you. I picked up a few books to start the year off. I have quite the long TBR, but these were a couple books. These were some books that I just had in my mind that I wanted to pick up here soon, so I went ahead and grabbed them. I got a couple gift cards for my birthday earlier this month, so I just wanted to go ahead and pick some up. So let's get into all of this. Alright, the first book I got was a recommendation, and it was Disgrace by J.M. Coetzee, sorry. I heard that this was a really good delve into kind of love and relationships and had a really good storyline. Basically involving, like, you kind of start, I believe, with a professor who had an affair with a student, and it just kind of delves more into love and relationships and etc., etc. So I'm looking forward to picking this one up. It actually seems pretty short as well, so that's kind of nice, a good little, like, kind of quick interlude book. The next book I picked up is The Slow Regard of Silent Things by Patrick Rothfuss. This is a novella with pictures of one of the characters in the Kingkiller Chronicles, one of the side characters in it, and I'm obsessed with the Kingkiller Chronicles. I don't know when the third final book in the trilogy is coming out, but I needed something to kind of tide me over, so I picked this bad boy up. Plus, I'm also just interested to hear more about this character. About this character. So, looking forward to that one. And like I said, it's another short one, a really good, like, kind of, I would say, like an interval type of story. Next one I got is The Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Anne Bronte. I have quite a few classics on my list to read this year that I want to get into. This one made the cut. It sounds very intriguing to me. And the thing that I like about classics is they're classic. So even if the language has changed, the storyline really just brings in, is applicable still. So anyway, looking forward to picking this one up. This year it is in my list of classics. Maybe I'll go through that list later on in another video of the classics that I want to read this year. Maybe so. This is one of them. Spoiler. The next little bitsy bobs I got the Winnie the Pooh and Pooh's Library, which Winnie the Pooh is actually included. I love Winnie the Pooh. He was one of my favorite childhood characters. And so this was something that I wanted to pick up. I want to share at some point when our children get a little bit older. I'd like to share this with them. And I haven't actually I've got all the, the Disney Winnie the Pooh, like, movie animation. I have those, but I wanted to get the books too because there was just something. I love Winnie the Pooh. Let me delve back into my, like, 2-year-old self. I love Winnie the Pooh. So I picked those up just to have them. The next book I picked up is the 10th anniversary edition of The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. Oh my goodness. This is an absolutely beautiful book to start with. And there's actually full page pictures in this one that go along with the story. I loved this story. I will be the first to say, I'm not a huge, like, high fantasy. Like, I'm very, like, picky about it. And this is probably the most into fantasy, I guess you could say, I've gotten into. And I just, I love this. This is just going to look so pretty on my shelf. And this story is just so fantastic. If you haven't read it, I know it's a beast of a book, but it is completely worth it. The next one I picked up, I wish they were still making the old covers of, because I hate TV and movie covers of these, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I picked up Poldark. I heard a lot of good things. I know it's a TV show. I hear ravings about the TV show, just like I hear ravings about the book. I'd like to give the book a try before I get into the TV show, but I will watch the TV show. I will read the book. I just hear this is a great, just historical fiction book, and it's England I believe it's after the Revolution. I believe it's after the Revolutionary War, and that's just, I'm looking forward to it. So, Poldark. Next is a beast of a book, and it is It by Stephen King. I spoke with my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law is a big Stephen King fan, and I spoke with her while we were on vacation over Thanksgiving about kind of like the Stephen King books, the best books that she really enjoyed and what she really liked reading. Needful Things was her favorite, and that is on my list of books to pick up this year. But I wanted to also get It because it just sounded good. I've heard a lot of things about this. I'm a Stephen King fan, and I haven't really read too many of his true horror novels. So I'm very much looking forward to one day, at some point in the near future, picking up this 1,100 page book. Yeah, 1,150 pages or something like that book. This thing's a beast. But it will get read sometime soon. Alright. We've got 2 books to go. This is kind of actually, I should say, this is a small amount of books for me, but it's still a decent sized. I wouldn't normally buy this many books in a month's time, but it was between the holidays and my birthday, I got quite a bit either given to me, or I got some, which I actually forgot. I forgot a book. I'll put it in a minute. Between getting gifts, gift cards, and whatnot, I did end up actually stocking up on quite a few books. So the next book, like I said, I've got 2 more to go. The next one is Ken Follett's The Pillars of the Earth. So as a historical fiction fan, I have had so many people recommend Ken Follett to me. So many people. So many recommendations. And I didn't really know where to start with his books. I know that kind of sounds weird, but I'm very, this is a big book, and I shouldn't say big, because I read big books actually quite frequently, but this is, 1,000 pages, and that, it just takes a lot to really get into it, and I will say, I looked, a book on Goodreads or Barnes & Noble's site, something had brought one of his, the second or third book in this series up to me, and I really, really sounded intrigued. And when I found out it was either the second or the third book in the series, I decided to go ahead and pick up this book. It is basically a historical historical epic. It's done, tells the story of Philip Prior of Kingsbridge, a devout and resourceful monk driven to build the greatest Gothic cathedral the world has known. Tom, the mason who becomes his architect, a man divided in his soul, and the beautiful, elusive Lady Alina, hunted by a secret shame, and of a struggle between good and evil that will turn church against state and brother against brother. It's 12th century England, which is something I haven't explored a lot of, actually. So I'm just really looking forward to diving into this. This will be a 2018 read. When? I don't know, because it's 1,000 pages. I have a feeling it's going to have to be one of those ones that I read a little bit and then I get like maybe one of those shorter books in, and then I read a little bit more, and I kind of like do it in that sense. But we'll see if it captures my attention. I might just binge read the whole thing in like a week. I doubt that's gonna happen, but we can think positively, right? So I picked up The Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. Anybody who's ever recommended him to me, I'm doing it this year sometime. And the last book I picked up, I found this by chance on Amazon. Like completely, like was not looking for it. Didn't even know something like this existed. It just happened to pop up on my like, you might like this. And that is the card catalog, Books, Cards, and Literary Treasures from the Library of Congress. This I've already like been peeking through because I've had it for a little while. About a couple weeks now. So I've been like looking through this. It talks about how we came up with card catalogs. It talks about different items. Like this is a copy. Is it an original? This is a copy, a picture copy of Moby Dick and the card that goes with that book. And it just talks about how it all kind of came together. This is and what all is held and what all takes card catalogs and how we devised the whole system. And I am just so like excited about it. Like I'm just so excited about it. This has the Library of Congress card division. And this just really excites me. But it is a beautiful, nifty, really, really cool book. Like I can't say that. It's just so cool to have and to be able to just look in and understand card catalogs and all that. Because I miss card catalogs in a way. I really do. But my heart and soul also belongs in a very different century. So the final book that I'm talking about today that I got in this haul is Ruska by Edward Rutherford. This was a birthday gift. I have Serum by Edward Rutherford. He has another one that I really want to get as well in this kind of like series about the history of the different places. So this one is also going on my list to be read. Obviously, all of these books are on my list to be read. Will I get to them all in 2018? Have yet to be determined. Hello guys! I was editing my book haul and I actually went to Barnes & Noble this past weekend, and I didn't include any of those books in the book haul because they were purchased after I originally filmed. So I'm going to talk about them real quickly now and just throw this in with the rest of that book haul. And we'll just call it a whole month book haul for you. The first one that I picked up is the Barnes & Noble Classic Edition of the Selected Poems of Emily Dickinson. Emily Dickinson is by far my favorite kind of classic poetry poetist. I'm not sure what to call them. It's like out of my head right now, but she is by far my favorite. This is the Selected Poems of Emily Dickinson, and I just thought this was like a real nice little classic, beautiful edition for my bookshelf. I already have like a complete set of her poems, but it's always nice to have just a little when I need a little hint of it. I also got Alison Weir's Catherine of Aragon, the True Queen. This is, she's got a 6 Tudor Queens. I'm not sure if this is a new one that she is doing. I think this might be a new one. I have to say, I think Alison Weir is my favorite. Sorry, I'm looking up the date. Yes, 2016. So this is new. This is a new like series that she's doing. I have to say, Alison Weir, I think, is becoming my favorite Elizabethan English historical fiction author. I've always loved her stuff. I've read a couple of novels of hers before. And I've always just really loved her writing. I feel like she really delves into stuff. I loved Philippa Gregory for a long time, and I still do. But I find her novels are a little bit hit or miss for me. Sometimes I really like them. Like I loved The Other Boleyn Girl. And then sometimes they just kind of fall a little flat for me. And I think a lot of it is because she kind of speeds through the plot, and it doesn't really, like, she doesn't take the time to really delve into it. And Alison Weir really delves into this. So I got Catherine of Aragon. She's the first queen of the infamous Henry VIII. And I'm very much looking forward to reading this. I also picked up, I've never heard about this before, but coming off of reading The Alienist by Caleb Carr, I really liked that they had a female character. This kind of like was not weird to me, but kind of weird in a weird way. But I loved they had a female character really kind of like take charge and recognize that she could do more than what she was doing, and they didn't just brush her aside. And she didn't kind of brush herself aside. She really steeled herself up. So, which I could talk about more in a different type of video. But I picked up Mrs. Sherlock Holmes. This is about, I don't think it's not fully historical fiction, but it's not nonfiction. What is it actually? This is, I'm not quite sure what it's actually categorized. It was in the adult fiction kind of table. So basically it is a narrative biography, there we go, of a singular woman the press nicknamed after fiction's greatest detective. So it's based on a true story, but it's told in a narrative sense. So I like that. I prefer narrative biographies, to be completely honest. But I'm really looking forward to picking this up. Like I said, in The Alienist, loving the female character that I found that I did, I'm really looking forward to reading more in that kind of edge of things and not have a female that's just kind of like, so I picked up that one because it sounded interesting. It's like right up my alley. And the last one I got was The Time Traveler's Guide to Elizabethan England. I'm obsessed, and I heard that these were really cute. Ian Mortimer, I've heard that name before. Not quite sure where I've heard it, but I have. And yeah, it's just a portrait of daily life in Elizabethan England. There's just all sorts of interesting tidbits in here. Character, I'm like just very much looking forward to doing this. Entertainment, it just gives you, if you were to go back to Elizabethan England, this is what you need to know. So that completely wraps up my book haul for the month of January. I don't think I'm going to be buying any more books for a little while. I went a little crazy this month, but I'm very much looking forward to 2018 and my reading year this year. It's already off to a great start, so I'm looking forward to reading all these books this year. I hope you enjoyed, and please do go ahead and join me next time. Thank you.